20 years. That is how long it has taken Sonos to bring us its first headphone. So Sonos has been making some of the best wireless speakers and soundbars for decades now, but they have never made a headphone until now. So this is the Sonos Ace. It's a Bluetooth premium wireless headset with active noise cancellation. And it is designed to go head to head with some of the industry greats like the Sony WH-1000 XM5s, the Bose Quiet Comfort, and Apple's AirPods Max. And by premium, I mean expensive. The Sonos Ace retails for $699 here in Australia, or around about $450 US. That's a huge price tag considering the offerings from Sony and Bose are almost $300 cheaper. So here is the question. Has Sonos done enough with its first headphone to justify such a premium price? Well, that's what you're here to find out. Full disclosure, Sonos Australia sent out these headphones for review. I do not get to keep them. Sonos has not seen this video before you and did not have any say in what I am going to tell you. So let's get into it. First up, let's talk design. Sonos is renowned for its beautiful, high-end, premium-looking designs, and the Sonos Ace is no different. Once you get out of the box, you're presented with a slim carrying case. The case is made out of recyclable materials, and it has a somewhat felt type finish to it, but not quite. You can tell it's actually made of something other than felt. Inside the case are the headphones and a magnetic pouch. This attaches to the case magnetically, and you can use it to store the cables that come with the headphone. The Ace comes in two colors, black and soft white, but in my opinion, the soft white is the better looking color. I do feel like the white one just looks a whole lot better and a lot more premium than the black one. Sonos decided to go for a minimalistic, sophisticated feel. It's very subtle in its design with the large oval ear cups and the simple headband. The headband is steel with steel arms that are polished, with the white ones being silver polish and the black ones looking like a darker gunmetal gray. The headband is padded with soft memory foam and covered with vegan leather. Same goes for the ear cup, really gentle on the ears. I really love the way the metal tracks of the headband sort of melt into the ear cups for a very slick look, and they even have a little bit of give so that the ear cups can adjust to your head, making them far more comfortable. You can adjust the size of the headband by just sliding along the track. It's very smooth and stiff. The ear cups can swivel flat 90 degrees, but only in one direction, and that helps the Ace to pack down easier. The ear cups are not as thick as some other headphones, so it does present a very flat profile along your head, which I think looks rather good. In terms of comfort, I find these extremely comfortable, especially on the top of my head, where most headphones will give me a bit of pressure on the middle of my follically challenged head, but the Ace sits really comfortably. I've been able to wear these all day long without any problem, and the ear cups are exceptionally soft and comfortable as well. No pinching on the outer parts of my ears. Sonos really nailed the comfort of these headphones. I never did test these during workouts, but I think if you are running or jumping, they might just slide off. The leather is slippery, especially when you start to sweat. For controls, Sonos went with physical buttons, which is a lovely change from everyone else doing touch-sensitive controls. On your left ear cup, you have a single power button, which press down for 3 seconds to power on or off and hold for 7 seconds to initiate Bluetooth pairing. On the right side, you have two buttons. One button controls active noise cancellation, switching between modes, but the more interesting button is what Sonos calls the control key. The control key is essentially a spring-loaded toggle switch. You can use this for a number of functions on the headphone. Slide it up to increase volume, slide it down to decrease volume, press it to play, pause, double press, skip, the usual. It works really well. It's very tactile. I love how it feels. It's intuitive. I don't have to fumble around trying to swipe and tap correctly. It's one of the best control schemes on any Bluetooth headphone, and I love it. On top of that, the Ace also has wear detection. So once you take it off, it will automatically pause whatever media was playing, or if you were on a phone call, it would hang up the call. When you get a call and you pick up the headphones and put them on, it will automatically answer the call, which is really handy. Connectivity-wise, we've said this is a Bluetooth headphone. It uses Bluetooth 5.4 with multi-point, so it will connect to two devices simultaneously and switch back and forth between them automatically. I've been using the Ace with my MacBook Pro for work as well as connected to my phone, and I just love the way it seamlessly switches to my phone when a phone call comes in and then back to the Mac. So the multi-point is very well done on this. It's fast, it's responsive. As a Bluetooth headphone, it supports all the major codecs. That includes SBC, AAC, aptX HD, and aptX lossless, but only if you use it with an Android device. Apple users will not have the ability to use aptX, as that is not a codec Apple supports for some reason. So if you want lossless audio, you will either have to connect these to an Android device or use the USB-C cable and connect directly to your Apple device in order to get lossless audio. The Ace also supports Dolby Atmos with head tracking. So once set up, the headphone can track your head in real time, centering the audio so that it's always in front of you. I find that head tracking to be one of those gimmicky features that just doesn't quite make sense to me and just sort of makes the listening experience a little weird, because every time you turn your head, then the music sort of fades as if in real life, if you had a band or a speaker right in front of you, when you turn your head left and right, obviously the sound would change. But with a headphone, I don't get it. It doesn't really matter that much to me. On top of that, it's important to remember that Sonos started out by making wireless soundbars and speakers for movie and TV watching, and the Ace has not been left out of that equation because one of its signature features is called TV audio swap. This basically lets you swap audio from your Sonos soundbar straight to the headphones with a press of the control key, and that will then allow you to listen privately to whatever you're watching on TV. Unfortunately, I couldn't test this feature because I didn't have a Sonos soundbar, but in theory it sounds pretty cool, especially someone like me who my family goes to bed early, and I wouldn't want to terrify my kids with the horrific sounds of monsters being slain in Diablo 4, so it would be a really clutch feature to have. I've seen other reviewers talk about this feature and how it was kind of wonky when it was first introduced, but I think with a couple of firmware updates so far, it should be working fine. The only problem is that that feature absolutely requires a Sonos soundbar, so that's a bit of a bummer. And it means you will have to be invested in the Sonos ecosystem to really get the most out of these headphones. Sonos has been making speakers for years now. So the question is, how do they sound? Pretty good, actually. The Ace have custom 40mm dynamic drivers, which deliver a rich, full-bodied sound across the board. I wasn't expecting these to sound as rich and bassy as they do. Every time someone talks about premium sound, I expect it to be a thin sounding with very little bass and sharp highs, but the Ace isn't that. It's actually one of the better sounding headphones that I have listened to in a while. It's shocking that Sonos, on their first attempt with a headphone, can produce something that has a balanced, clean sound that is so rich in bass, that doesn't distort and isn't muddied. Right out of the box, you don't have to do anything to make these sound good. You do have the option with the Sonos app to adjust the EQ. And I love that Sonos have made it rather simple. The EQ literally just has 3 sliders, one for bass, one for treble, and one for balance. That's it. You can just slide them up and down a notch as you please. That really takes the guesswork out of EQing these headphones. Most people don't have the understanding of the different kilohertz and hertz ranges for bass and treble and mids. It's nice that we just have a simple slider to increase or decrease bass or treble to the way we want it. And I've really enjoyed listening to all sorts of content on these headphones. I listen a lot to soundtracks from movies, from games, and that's such an eclectic mix of everything from EDM to epic orchestral scores, and the Ace handles all of them brilliantly. I've really enjoyed listening to these so much, and I believe you will too. Again, because I don't have a Sonos soundbar, I couldn't test the TV audio through these, though I have heard and seen from other reviews that it is one of the best headphones for Dolby Atmos content with very good spatial audios. You can even use these for gaming, but only if you use them wired. You've got to use the USB-C wire cable or the 3.5mm cable connected to your controller to test that. And unfortunately, the headphones also have to be powered on when you're using the 3.5mm. Yes, these are not gaming headsets, but you can use them. I will say that for mobile gaming, these headsets do not have a low latency mode, which is a bit strange. Most modern headphones come with a low latency mode over Bluetooth, but in my testing, I didn't see any noticeable lag while using these to play games on my phone or to watch content on my phone. In terms of how they sound, when you are speaking through them to someone else, the Ace do sound pretty good. They come with 8 microphones with all sorts of smart beamforming patterns to pick up your voice. Ultimately though, it's still a Bluetooth headphone, so you can only expect so much. But in my time using this, compared to other wireless headphones that I've used, my wife never complained about how I sounded over calls. Same goes for my work colleagues. Nobody complained over Zoom calls. Here is an actual test that I recorded. Check it out and you can decide for yourself if it sounds good. Okay, so this is a microphone test of the Sonos Ace. I'm recording direct to my iPhone 16 Pro Max using the Voice Memos app. So this is what you can expect it to generally sound like on calls, out in public. I think it sounds fine. Now, when it comes to active noise cancellation, the Sonos Ace is shockingly good. Again, you have to remember this is Sonos's first attempt at making a headphone. So it's amazing to me that the noise cancellation on the Ace is as good as something like the Sony XM5, which is the gold standard for noise cancellation. Once you turn these on, when you literally put them on your head and turn it on, there is a second where everything just goes quiet. I have used these on the train. I've used these walking downtown with lots of rush hour traffic on my way to work, and it's impressive how well the Ace blocks out all traffic noise, buses, honking cars, people talking. It is so good you could literally get run over without hearing the cars approaching you. That's an exaggeration. You will still hear the cars, but they all sound like a silent whoosh, like everybody's driving electric cars. Noise cancellation on the Ace is definitely S tier. Love them for that. Similarly, the Ace also have an awareness mode, which is the opposite of noise cancellation, where the headphones let in ambient sounds and even amplify them a little bit so that you can still hear while listening to your music. You would probably want to do that when you're, say, at a train station or an airport and you don't want to miss out on the calls for your next flight, or if you just want to make an order at your restaurant without taking the headphones off. It sounds really good, almost uncannily real. It's hard to describe, but it does sound like you don't have headphones on, but it's still so good. When it comes to noise cancellation and transparency mode, Sonos really nailed it with this one. In terms of battery life, this is where the Ace comes in sort of average. It will last you about 30 hours with active noise cancellation on, maybe a little more with it off. It's good. So if you are using these on a long flight, they will last you the journey, no problem. The really dope thing is that the Sonos Ace has fast charging. You will get 3 hours of listening time from just a 3-minute charge. That's fantastic. So in case you've forgotten to charge them and you're just about to head out the door to work, plug them in for 3 minutes and you've got more than enough juice for your commute. In saying that, Sonos is not exactly leading the pack when it comes to battery life. We have seen other headphones that are hitting 45 hours, even 60 hours in the case of the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. So for such a premium headphone, I do think 30 hours of battery life is just okay. So that's it about the Sonos Ace. For a first attempt, it's a really good headphone. It is not easy to just come out of nowhere with your first headphone, and it is good enough to hand with the best of the best. Sonos got the design right, they've got the comfort right, they've got the sound right, and they nailed it with active noise cancellation. And it has some of the best physical control schemes on any headphone that I have seen in a long time. But it's not perfect though. 30 hours of battery is okay, but it is not industry leading, and for the price you're paying, I would expect the best. Secondly, the TV audio swap feature is pretty cool, but unless you have an accompanying Sonos soundbar, you're not going to enjoy that feature at all. And of course, thirdly is the price at $699. That is really pushing it on the premium scale, when in actual fact, the Ace doesn't do anything particularly better than the offerings from Sony and Bose, that it really makes you wonder what exactly are you paying for almost $200 to $300 extra. The closest headphone in comparison would be the Apple AirPods Max, which are about $800. The difference is the AirPods have the benefit of Apple's robust ecosystem. They will work seamlessly with your iPhone, your iPad, your MacBook, your iMac, Apple TV, and it all just works beautifully. Sonos does not have a similarly strong ecosystem to justify the cost. Don't get me wrong, I love the Ace, and I would love to own them, but the price is just not right. But you know what? That's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Would you pay $700 for a first generation of Sonos headphones? Drop your comment below. And if you're looking for the best Dolby Atmos setup to pair these with, have a look at this video. Hit that like button if you found this helpful, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.